Hi guys, welcome back, and now I'm going to be showing you how to make a really solid ARP bass on Repro 1 by Yuhi. It's a great synthesizer. If you guys are making this kind of music, I recommend you get it. It sounds really warm, really analog. I'm just going to play you a snippet of how I'm going to get the synth to end up to sound, and then we're going to go ahead and make it. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and open up Repro 1, and we're going to just create our sound first. So it starts off with both oscillator A and B loaded. I'm just going to take oscillator B down for a second just so we can focus on oscillator A. Let's turn up the pulse, the pulse waveform. And then let's just change the pulse width. So nice and fat around there, around 9 o'clock. And then let's add oscillator B. But let's do a triangle. So just kind of thickening up that low end there. And then let's turn on feedback and bring this up. Basically what it does is it feeds the output of the mixer back into the filter, and you get this kind of thicker, I don't want to say distorted, but kinda, you get this kind of just thicker sound. That feels about right there. Okay, cool. Next up, let's just bring the cutoff down. And let's increase the envelope amount a bit. Sustain down on the envelope amount. So we're getting that nice plucky sound. And this bit's really important. You want to make sure you've got velocity selected here. You want to turn it up to about 3 o'clock. And then you want to click and drag this to cutoff. So the velocity is now going to affect the cutoff, which is really important in the sequencer part, which we're going to get to in a second. So to make sure the sequence is working properly, first thing we want to do is go to this ARP sequencer section. Let's change it to clock, play, and 1. That's totally fine. And then we're going to change the clock here to, if you just read up here, we're going to change it to 1/16. And that should be it for our sound right now. If I hold it down, we kind of hear it go. Let's change the amplitude envelope a little bit. Okay, sounding pretty good. Now, let's go over to sequencer and let's make it 8 steps long. And we're going to play around with the velocity here. Now, we know that the velocity affects the cutoff. So if I want a higher cutoff, I have a higher velocity. I'm just going to do something random for now. Kind of want the first one to be quite high and then maybe the rest to be nice and low, and then kind of maybe building up again a bit. So immediately creating a really interesting pattern. Now it's a bit too different. That works really nicely for me. Now, next thing I want to do is let's just apply a little bit of EQ with this res EQ here, and we're just going to boost up the low frequencies. Get some fatness in there, and let's see if it can do with a bit of this sort of modular distortion from Jaws. I think that's actually taking away from the fatness, so we'll just leave Jaws out of this. So now that you have your arpeggiator completed sound-wise, all you need to do is just record a pattern. So I've got this pattern here. Let's drop it an octave. And I always go back in and edit it once I'm hearing it with the track because it makes such a difference. Now I'm really happy with this. A couple of things that I always add to bass: bit of type saturation and a little bit of EQ. And I'll play around with this until it just sits nicely with everything in my track. So go ahead, try out the Yuhi Repro one, and I'm sure that you guys are going to get that nice rolling art bass that you're after.
Remember, at Sample Tools by CR2, we also offer a mix and mastering service. Just head over to www.sampletoolsbycr2.com, click on the mastering tab, and you'll find our range of services there.